All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brady
Hey,
Pierre. What's up? And this is Taneille Pierre. How's it going tonight?
hey guys.
Good. All right. How's everyone doing? I just want to introduce ourselves. This is our first podcast. We are the hosts of Relevant Discussions. Oh,
I
sorry.
told you to put it on mute. I told you.
See that?
Didn't I tell you? I
So I
said,
thought I,
Brady, put it on
I
mute.
thought I did. All right. So yes. Sorry about that. So yes. So we're the show host for Relevant Discussions.
Hmm.
Um, Again, my name is Brady Pierre. I've been married for 12 years now. I have two beautiful children. I have one 7-year-old boy and I have a 3-year-old girl. Very energetic people. They keep us on our toes at all times. It's a great time. Um, you know, Tennille and I had started talking about certain, different things that come up in relationships. So she decided to put together a list of things that people don't really talk about all that much, or don't do too much of a deep dive in. So, with this list, and that's going to be a growing list. We have a number of topics that we like to go over with everyone, and see everyone and get everyone's input, and see what the temperature is out there. Whether it's dating, marriages, um, fiancés, a whole bunch of different categories.
Baby mamas and baby daddies too. You guys are
Yeah,
welcome in
that,
this topic.
that'll be quite the topic.
Yeah.
Tanil, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Well, hey people. Welcome to the family. My name is Taneille. Everyone calls me T. And I'm not married to Brady. I am married to his brother. We all got the same last name now. I have a very spicy, sassy 2-year-old, and I am in the newlywed stage. Been married for 5 months now.
Okay.
Been together for 4 years before we tied the knot. And yeah, like what Brady said, we are here to give you guys like our honest truth about things that no one's ever told us about being in a relationship. Once getting in a relationship, well, I should probably backtrack. Finding that someone, no one's ever told you like what you're supposed to look for. You just kind of have to, I guess, figure it out, trial and error when it comes up to finding your significant other. Then goes through relationship, then marriage, then kids, like the whole 9 yards. So our whole purpose of this podcast is to give you guys our opinion on topics that we've personally experienced throughout our journeys with our significant others and within ourselves, and share it with you guys, and vice versa. You guys can give us, I guess, some tips on how you guys get through your relationship, through life, kids, no kids, single life, engaged, though everything. So this is the whole purpose of this podcast. So welcome to the Relevant Discussion family.
Absolutely, yes. Welcome everybody. I'm excited to be doing this. Something that I've thought about doing this for a while. It'll probably take me away from, I talk to a lot of young people. Now I'm not young, but I'm not old either. So I talk to a lot of young people, in regards to relationships, and I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm lecturing a little bit. So I think this will give me a little bit more. This will give me a little bit more of an outlet for kind of getting a lot of this stuff out. I mean, a lot of things that I've experienced in my relationship with my wife. We, like I said earlier, we've been married 12 years, but we've been together for about 20.
Y'all like high school sweethearts.
Yeah, basically, yeah, you could say that. We went to the prom together. The whole nine. Yeah, it's the years have gone by pretty fast. We have a good time. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm excited to share my experiences with
Well, that's good. Well, now that we got that stuff out the way, now
everybody.
that I guess everyone knows who we are, I guess we should jump into like a light topic. Let's just jump right in. Let's just get into the podcast.
All right. Let's.
Do it. So I guess we should start off with like a something light, nothing too crazy because we have a lifetime to start jumping into like these deeper topics that we have for you guys. So I don't know, Brady, what are you thinking our light topic should be? Something like we married, now what?
Yeah. Let's. Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. Now that I'm married, now what? All right. So yeah, what do you do? I mean, you've had your big wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was a COVID wedding. What
COVID
do you
Brad.
what do you do now? You wake up to this person next to you. Things really shouldn't, in theory, things shouldn't change
No.
because you've been with, you probably, maybe you've been with this person for a year, maybe you've been with them 5 years, or maybe, 7 years or whatever it is. Things do change a little bit. Now you start, you now you're married into each other's families, um, whether you like it or not. I mean, you hope to have, not hope, you really need to have that type of discussion. Like some people are very involved with family, in terms of, one of the biggest things that leads to to divorce is finances.
Mm.
You know, lending out, things like, what whether husband and wife are, controlling their finances, budgeting things, doing things like that. But now you have outside factors where it's someone asks you to borrow money.
Mm.
You can't, you can't just raise up and just, you know, here's here's a stack, or here's whatever it might be that someone asks you to borrow. You've got to go back and you've got to go and consult your significant other. It makes sense. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it completely makes sense. So at the wedding, one of my husband's friends asked me, like, so how does it feel now that you're married? And that feeling didn't really sink in just yet. Because we've been together, 4 years, and we always knew that we were gonna get married, and we did start planning that big wedding. We started looking at venues, locking venues down. We started, everything. And then COVID came and everything just kind of got put on pause. And the whole debate of should we get married this year? Should we not get married this year? Should we do city hall? Everything that you think we thought it and try to figure it out. And essentially down to it, we decided that at the end of the day, we just wanted to be married to each other. We both loved each other, and it's about us and our love and becoming one instead of, he's over there, I'm over here. Yes, I'm engaged, but, for me, I got tired of saying the word fiance. I felt like it was like a mouthful. Like, oh, this is my fiance. Oh, this is my fiance. My fiance did this. It's just, I got tired of saying that word. Like, I just felt like I need to say husband. I felt like I needed to say that word because it just didn't feel right. Saying fiance just didn't feel right after almost 2 years of being engaged. Like, first year, that's cool. Second year, I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know how people do this for like, they engage for like 5-6 years and they can't even call their significant other my husband.
In y'all's defense, I think we were engaged. My wife and I were engaged. Me and Tanya were engaged for maybe 2.5 years.
Oh,
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't COVID, But yeah, we were definitely engaged for some time. I mean, we were together for 7 at
Yeah.
first. So luckily, I was, that's another thing we like to, that's a whole other topic that we can get into.
Yeah.
Being young and being with someone for so long, you almost not feeling pressured to get married because everybody's like, "What are you waiting for?" It's like
Yeah.
you want some things to be, in place first. Because I was in
Yeah.
school at the time. I was in school
Exactly.
at the time, so I just
Exactly.
wanted to get that. I wanted to get that taken care of. Um, but yes, so you know, now that you're married, now what? You don't get it. There's no handbook.
No.
There's no, you know, people don't, especially, especially in my parents don't really talk to you about it. They're excited for you to get married if they like the other person. They're excited for you to get married. Now, you're married. You don't really get too much advice. You
No.
don't get too much advice. All you really you have the example that they put. I mean, if your parents have been married for a long time, you have the example that they put forth. So you know how they work with each other.
Mhm.
But it's what's funny. Something funny is actually, so Tanya and I actually started watching. We somehow, I don't know how we end up watching this. Was Married at First Sight.
Ooh, I like that show.
So I normally don't watch stuff. I normally don't watch this stuff, but for some reason I was like, really? I was like, all right, we'll sit down and watch this. So these 4 or 5 couples. They didn't even see. The only time they saw each other was at the altar, and they all said yes.
Mhm.
So now they have a 6 week period to get to learn each other and stuff like that. What annoys the other person, and wow, it was just amazing that people would do that, because it seems as though that's the state of, and this show started back in 2014, so that's
Yeah.
kind of like the state of dating is that right now.
Well, I mean, you look, I've been out the game, so I don't even know what that pool looks like. So I can't really say like X, Y, and Z on how that pool looks like.
Hmm.
But for someone to go and marry someone that they know nothing about, but they know that they're compatible with each other, it's like, yeah, on paperwork you're compatible. On paperwork you're like perfect to a T. But then what happens when you actually like see each other, have a conversation, and then you realize I don't even like you.
Yeah.
Everything about you, like your whole setup, like, oh, he's a family man, he likes to go outside, all that stuff that, was put down on paper, that is what you wanted until it got dropped in your lap and you're like, oh, you're not it.
And you had experts pairing these people too. So there was some data showing that this person should be matched with this person.
Yeah.
So that's how they, I get, scientifically put these people together. But what about someone comes home from, that my one time someone comes home from work, throws their clothes onto the floor, and then just takes off. I mean,
Science didn't know that.
that doesn't account for that at
Nope.
all.
Nope. Science forgot to tell you that he
Yeah.
don't like dishes. He don't like picking up his clothes.
Mm.
Like science forgot to tell you all of that to you. All his unattractive stuff, all those things that are gonna pick at you. Science completely took that out of the equation and gave you a perfect cookie cutter person. That's all. And that just means the grass ain't always green on the other side. The grass may look real pretty, but it's just ugly on the other side. Just ugly because you don't know this person at all. Just what science told you this person is.
Yeah, and they started they started putting up stats on arranged marriages. So, a lot of times those marriages are put together because of, the family wants this person to marry another family, another, and a lot of times those kind of get built into like wealth. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, this is a wealthy family. This is a wealthy family. Marry this wealthy person. You guys continue with you guys keep the wealth together. It's not gonna get dropped in this generation, and just keep it, and keep it moving. So, and they say that those really stay, those people really stay together. I actually worked with someone who had an arranged marriage. She went to India. She was single here. Her parents set her up with somebody in India, and then they came back, and they were married, couple of kids. Everything just everything just kept happening.
But people who are in an arranged marriage, are they even happy? Like you just kind of like, here, this is the person we've picked out for you. I don't even care if you guys have anything in common, but he's fit to be your husband. He paid your dowry by giving you
Mm.
a cow and a goat, and here you go. That's your husband for life.
Yeah, I don't think I'm giving up my daughter for a couple of cows and some goats. I don't know. I think she'd be pretty mad at me, and I think Tanya would kill me if that was a conversation that we even had. Just
Exactly.
basically selling off my daughter like that. But yeah, that's how they do it in some cultures,
Yeah.
and and it works. The two people put together, because you know I feel like, because in other countries,
Mhm.
and from what I've seen in other countries, when you get in, like, divorce is not a conversation.
No.
So when you don't have when you're not aware of an option, it's not something that you start pushing for.
Yeah.
Versus in the States, people go to Vegas, get married, and then 2 weeks later, we need to make this null and void. We need to
Yeah.
get we need to get divorced. This ain't working out.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I think people think marriage is like not even marriage, the wedding, because that's what really attracts people to want to get like married is the wedding, because they see the dress and the bling, and you're putting on a show when you get married. When you not married, when you're having your wedding, it's a show.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
plain
just
and
one day.
simple. It's like you are inviting people to see a show, and the show is basically you saying I do, and getting married, and that's what it is, and that's what people are here for. They're here for the show. So when people see that, they're like, "Ooh, I like this. Okay, I think I need to find someone, and I think I like them, but I'm gonna try to push it so we can get married, so I can do all this, so I can like prove to people something. I don't know what they're proving, but it's true. My husbands have said that before. Like people, when they get invited to a wedding, it's a free meal. They're just here for the food, and they're here to basically see what's going on so they can go report back to the people that didn't go, or the people that weren't invited.
Yeah, there's a lot of critiquing that happens at the wedding. I mean, I'll be sitting at a table, and someone's like, "Oh my, this is terrible. Look at this and look at that." And I'm looking. I'm like, I'm not really here. I wasn't really. I didn't come here. I didn't come here to eat. I just can't.
Celebrate
I'm
their
happy for the two people that are getting married. This is their day. Let them enjoy their day. This is how they wanted to do it. So, just respect their wishes. But
exactly,
yeah,
exactly, exactly.
my personal experience. I mean, we tried. We went to the JP. We went to the JP, and we were like, yes. All we gotta do is go to JP, go see the judge, City Hall. We good. Get the paperwork, and then we went to Miami. We went to Miami because we had to go to graduation down there at the same time. So we kind of just grouped everything together. But when I
Mhm.
tell you, I was never. I've never been so nervous in my life when I went to go when we went to the JP that day. I literally had a towel in my hand because I was sweating, just trying to keep my my hands from getting all wet. And I had
Yeah.
a cream vest on,
Ooh.
and I had like a blue shirt. a light blue shirt underneath.
Yeah,
I was
pissed.
afraid to take the vest off because I knew there was like a ring like this big. And the judge went to go shake my hand before, and I was like, "Yeah, nah, judge, we can't. I can't shake your hand." And I showed the judge the towel, and I was the JP the towel, and that was it. But
Ooh.
it didn't end that day though.
No?
No, it didn't end that day.
What do you mean?
So we thought we was good, but
Uh-huh.
then our parents, my mom, her mom, they started talking. They're like, "Oh, you know what? This is probably like a year later, maybe like a year later, maybe less." They're like, "You know what? The kid should have. I think the kid should have a big a wedding, a little something."
A little something.
I
Yeah.
knew what a little something. I knew what a little something. I knew what a little something meant. A little something ballooned. It ballooned.
Exactly.
It was
Exactly.
a good. We
But
turned it into a party.
we're from the island. We should probably tell the people now. I'm Jamaican. He's Haitian. Little mean
Yeah,
200-300 people. That's little to them. For us, a little is probably like what 5-10. For them, it's like, oh, can I invite like 10 of my friends? And don't forget, you gotta invite your distant family that you ain't never seen, or you met that one time at that family reunion and you never seen them ever again. And all of a sudden, you gotta invite these people.
it, for our day, it ballooned to like 200. It ballooned to like 200, but it was great. It was a great time though. I had fun. I'll never say that I regretted it, but it was. I thought I felt as though it was an unnecessary expense. We were, you know, we had already owned our own place. We was looking to do some other things and something. There's so many different. Not to call that a trap, but there's so many different traps that you could fall into
Mhm.
that that can set you back financially, especially. So
Mm,
that was not to say that was one of them, but if we had done it, I'll put it this way: if we had done the justice of the, if we had done the big wedding first,
mhm,
it would have taken a couple more years in order for us to purchase our own property. And,
'cause of
and
all
that's
the
what
stuff.
that delays. And I didn't want that. We both knew that we wanted to have ownership of something.
Mhm,
So that was the goal. And then we ended up went from the condo to to the house. But in between that span, a lot of different things happen. Career changes.
mhm,
Nobody tells you how to deal with that with your significant other. Going through a career change. I've been through a career change. My wife's been through a career change, and you just kind of have to just sit there and just support your significant other.
yeah.
It might be tough, because especially if the career changes are happening when you have kids.
Mhm,
That is a that's a whole nother level sometimes.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. I get it. I get it. I mean, when me and my husband got married, I was fine. Like the whole week leading up to it, I was just trying to make things, I guess, perfect because at the end of the day, like, I mean, we we had something visioned in our mind of what we wanted our wedding to happen. But once COVID hit, that kind of took everything out of our minds, and we had to basically come up with something that was protocol safe, safe for everyone, safe for us. And essentially, we were going back and forth trying to find a courthouse that would marry us. Because we basically said, if we do the courthouse, then we'll do the big thing within like a year or two.
Mm.
Or we wait 5 years and we'll do it like when we hit our 5 year mark, we'll do the big thing that we both wanted.
Yeah.
And we looked around, we had family help us, and it went down to we had a month to plan our wedding in the backyard. Less than a month, actually. It took less than a month to plan our wedding in our backyard. And it turned out very intimate, turned out way better than Obviously I knew it would have came out great, but it made me not even want the big wedding at all because
Just so
like
y'all know, sorry to interrupt. Just so y'all know, I wasn't invited. But keep going.
he was the best man. He made a speech. I will find some pictures. I have an album with him in it. He's
Yeah, that
totally
was a very it was a very nice wedding. I didn't y'all tricked me because I was asking, I was like, yo, should I be doing a speech? And then all of a sudden I see I see the maid of honor stand up. Before she stood up though, before she stood up, she kind of just looked at me like,
she gave the look like
and I was like, and then and then all of a sudden I just see her stand up with a piece of paper or with her phone, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. And I was like, you know what? Luckily, I prepped something. I think I put together maybe like 2-3 sentences
mm, mm,
before we had to before I even came. And then
mm.
I said, and then after I read I read my 2 sentences, and then after that I went off the cuff. I mean it's my brother, so it's too I mean, it was too easy.
It was too easy.
It was too easy.
But yeah, that was I'm saying. I didn't think you guys would go up there, and that was very thoughtful, and we appreciate that. Um, I remember the day of the wedding. I was getting ready, but my stomach was like butterflies. I was nervous. I had that nervous like feeling in like my stomach, and I was just like trying to move around, and I wanted to cry, but I was like, you know what? I'm a thug. I'm a G. I ain't gonna cry. Like, why am I about to cry? Like, I already knew what I was gonna do. Like, I know he's my husband. I ain't gonna cry, please. And guess who made me cry? Your wife. Your wife made me cry. So,
What Tanya say?
so, and it was like the littlest thing that just like tears just like flushed down my face. We were in the bathroom. I was getting ready. And I was doing my makeup. And Tanya's like, I gotta go. I gotta pee. And she's like, do you mind? I was like, no, that's fine. And she's like, use the bathroom. And she's like, so how are you doing? And then boom, the tears came out.
Oh,
And then that's all I took for Tanya was to ask me, like, so how are you feeling? How are you doing? And just like tears came out of my eyes.
luckily she asked you in the bathroom.
He asked me while I was getting ready in the bathroom. And like I really just like tears came out. And I think that's what made me get through the altar without shedding a tear was because I got it all out of my system. And once that came out, I was like, okay, I'm ready. I can do this without like shedding a tear. But in my mind, I was like, I wonder how he's doing. Cause like he's the type of person you don't even know what he's thinking. Like he has that perfect poker face. You don't know what he's thinking. He can like he could be worried or like scared or whatever. Or if you ask him, he's like, oh, I'm okay, I'm cool. And just rub his hands. So I was thinking like, oh, he's fine. I'm over here crying, worrying, and I bet you he's just sitting there chilling, calm, cool, and collected. Like that's all that was going through my mind.
legs legs shaking in them pants probably, yo. Trembling. I'm asking you. I mean, he's like that. I thought I had your because we were people. Me and her husband, me and Pat, we work together too. Our regular 9 to 5. So we work together. So we'll be in meetings. We make eye contact, and we try not to laugh at stuff. And it's fun. It's fun working with my brother. But yeah, I've had people ask me. They're like, "Is everything all right with him?" He's like, "You can't really tell," and I'm just like, "Yeah, no, man, he's good. He's good." I mean, some people don't take, especially at work. A lot of people don't not our place in particular, but some people in the workplace just don't take stress that well or heightened situations, and you just see it clearly off their faces. But me and Pat, we get that from our dad. He's just like you say something, you're just like, okay, all right,
It's
and
true.
I mean, and I take it that way too, and he just takes it a step. He just takes it. Pat takes it a step further. So it doesn't surprise me that he was like that during up to the wedding and up to wedding day and the day of the wedding.
Yeah,
Doesn't surprise me at all.
he was really calm, cool, and collected. I was like, he's so lucky. Like he just has that like thing where like no matter what it is, like he's just laser focused, calm, cool, collected. Like you would never know there's something wrong with him because he doesn't show his emotion on his face. And so like, I was just like, wow, I want to know how he's feeling, how is he doing, like I think I even asked you at one point, I was just like, how's he doing? Like, is he okay? You're like, he's fine. And I was just like, that doesn't help me. Like, I need
Oh
like
yeah, sorry, yo.
in my mind, I was like,
Yeah,
tell me he's worried. Not to
I,
me.
yeah, yeah,
Tell
yeah,
me, tell me something. I need something.
yeah. No, I have nothing for you, yo.
You didn't. You would. It was just kind of useless.
I was,
I was
I
like,
was useless.
that wasn't what I was asking for. I was asking to know if he was nervous and scared, just like me. And I ain't
Even
getting
if
it.
you did tear up, I wasn't gonna tell you that either. I would have just said, I just say he good. That's it. He
Well, I
good.
mean, we both didn't tear up. There was a lot of smiles when I was walking down the aisle. Like you saw all 32 of my teeth. Just that's all you saw. Just and same way with him. If you ask anybody, my husband doesn't smile. Like he'll give you like, and then like that's it. Like it's done. Like it's like a quick
Oh yeah,
laugh.
I'm very familiar with the fake laugh too.
It's like it's like a quick, and that's it. So for you to see my husband like, it's like something really good and special to see that smile. So
Nah,
it was a good day. It was a good day. It's a great moment to cherish. And after, I want to say the next day, that's when it hit me. I was like, ooh, I'm someone's wife.
yeah, yeah,
Like
and you,
I'm somebody. Not only am I someone's mother, like boom, drop the word wife on top of my lap. Also, that was like, oh crap, this is crazy. Like I knew, you take the response. Once you have kids, you're like, okay, I'm someone's mother. I'm like a whole person's mother. Like I gotta take care of this human being for the rest of my life. But when you find out, not when you find out, but like when you actually like get married, and then the next morning you're like, wow, I'm someone's wife. Like it almost feels like the responsibility heightens even more.
oh yeah, for sure.
Like it's like now you're like, not only am I taking care of myself and my child, now I gotta take care of my husband. Even though like you take care of them, but it's now at like a certain level
I mean,
of
I'm not taking a, and let that record say that I'm not taking care of a husband.
what?
Nothing. Go. Go ahead. Sorry for interrupting you.
But now you gotta take care of your husband. And now it's like you kind of, I don't want to say pressure, but it's like you kind of feel a little bit like the pressure is on
You gotta step up.
to, take care of your household now. Like, yes, your husband's the head of the household, but now you run the stuff in the house. You cook, clean, make time for everybody. You check in on your husband, make sure he's okay.
Gentlemen, make sure y'all helping your ladies out with the cooking and cleaning too.
Yes,
And
please.
I do get involved there. I mean, there are times where I'm just like, yo, just leave them things there. You can take care of them later. But for the most part, I'm helping. Yeah, I like to help because what happens is she's worn out, and then and then I'm getting the I did that. I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not trying to hear all that.
You want to
I'm
hear the
gonna get a
list.
hand in some place in some spots, and it makes sense to share the responsibilities. But after you get married, I mean, those are like conversations that those are conversations that you have to have. As simple as that sounds,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta have that talk. Who's gonna be the biggest thing for me before we got married was, can you cook? Are you gonna be cooking? Because I would be cracking jokes all the time. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna be sitting here eating no meatloaf on Monday through Friday or what it is. And she joking like, yeah, we don't make that. I'm like, all right, whatever y'all, whatever you guys make. I was like, yo, I'm gonna need food. I was like, I'm gonna need food. My kids gonna need food because we gonna have kids because we had that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So so now it's you have those conversations. But one of the conversations that I've had with that I had with Tanya early
Mm-hmm.
was the man. So the man is responsible, is the sole protector of the family. So now, you know, some people hate to to break them down into gender roles, but there are gender roles. Now, I always say, if something happens and something happens to the family or whatever it is, that I'm gonna be taking the blame for that. As the man
Mm-hmm.
of the house, I expect to take the blame. I expect to take the blame for that, and that's just how it goes. Everybody's always gonna look at the guy and just the man and just be like, "Whoa, what was going on? What was he doing? He wasn't taking care of his responsibilities." And that's what that says. So I said that to her, and I said, "Hey, I need you to be on my team. We need to work together. I mean, we're working together good anyways, but I just
Mm-hmm.
needed to make sure I put that out there that we need to work to get in this together, because if you do something and it doesn't look right, it's gonna come back to it's gonna come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
What was Brady doing, or what was the man doing? So that
Yeah.
it just it's just the way that it is. It's just the way that it is. So that's one of these things. And you have a lot of young dudes out here who are just not ready to be taking those responsibilities. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of women sense that. So you do have, you have that's why in my opinion you have a lot of these ladies out here who are single, still looking. You hear, I've heard all kinds of different stuff. Oh, dude can't keep up with me, or maybe she has a great career. She's already found her path. Like with my kids, I expect my daughter to know what she wants out of life before my son does, because it's just always like that. Women always know what they want
Mm-hmm.
from the jump, and then dudes are just sitting there just still. Oh, I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out.
Not my life.
I did. I mean, that was me. I did that. Tanya was, talking about, getting engaged and getting married, and anytime she did it, I was just kind of like, well, I need a career first. I need to get my stuff laid out first, because I'm expected to take care of the family. And you'll have we've gone through, when especially during the career change, it was a point in time where she was holding me down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just in school. I'm just in school for a little. I did I did respiratory therapy for a semester, and Isaiah was maybe a year old, and we were living at my parents' house. But we had sold our condo. We're living in my parents' basement. We had Isaiah. We still had the same bills that we had,
Mm-hmm.
down one
Nothing.
income. So Tanya was holding me down. So she was holding me down for that time period. And it was, I could see it weighing on her, and it started to weigh on me too, because I could see her working so hard. And finally I was just like, all right. I was like, yo, I gotta go pick up a part-time. I gotta do something to help out, because I see my lady stressing over over some things. And and I was, that respiratory program was a rigorous program, and I didn't get through it the first semester. So I missed a class. Let's see, I missed one class by about 4 or 5 points. So
Mm.
now I'd have to take that class
All over again.
next year.
Ooh.
It was September, and I'd have to wait till September again in order for me to take that class and to keep moving forward in the program. So now I'm like 30 something years. I'm in my early 30s. I'm married. I already have a child, and now because I couldn't pass this class, I've got to put everything, basically the year on hold. For, out of this 2 year program, it's now been extended to 3.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't part of the plan. So
Yeah.
what I did was, hey, I put my big boy pants on and I said, you know what, this ain't gonna cut it. I'm going back to work. I went back. Before that, I was in the medical field working for a managed care company. I said I don't want to have anything to do with the medical field, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the Tanya was in the medical field at the time too. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna go into something completely different than what I've known, because I've done a lot of healthcare, and I went into a different field, and I've been pretty successful since I've been there. I've been in the field for the last 5 years, and yeah, sometimes you just have to take those risks, and taking the position that I had taken, after I'd left respiratory school, it was it was less than what I was accustomed to making, but I knew in the long run that I could end up making more than what I had been making initially. And one of the biggest things for me when I was in my job search was company culture. So that made a big difference. That made a really big difference for me. Because there's nothing worse. I talked to somebody the other day. I did a resume for somebody, and I asked her. She wasn't sure if she wanted to go apply for a job and within her company or within a different office. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, how do you feel on Sunday nights?" Her exact words were, "I feel sick
Mm.
on
Yeah.
Sunday night." And I said, right there, you need to apply for that job. You need to apply for that job in that other office.
Yeah.
If you feel sick on Sunday night, you're talking to your husband about that.
Yeah.
And your husband, God knows how much your husband's been hearing about it, whether he listens or whether he doesn't listen. You've been talking about it, and he's just like, yo, you need to do something about this.
Yeah.
So it's there's so many different things that come up during your during your relationship that it, like, yeah,
Yeah. No,
wow.
I completely understand where you're coming from. And this is what men need to also look for, is a woman that will hold you down while you go pursue a career that they want. Because I think that's like the biggest thing, is that men want a woman to hold them down, like, be there for them when they're going ahead and like pursuing a career, like how Tanya held you down while you pursued your career, or while you were going to school. And seeing that, like, okay, it weighs so much on her, and I'm sure maybe she didn't even say anything. I know, as me, um, I hold things in. I don't let people know what's going on with me, because I have this mentality that, like, whatever I'm going through, it's not as big as, and as big as like I'm making it. So I don't need to like tell anyone what it is. So I just like keep it to myself and like build and build and build until like I just explode, and then it turns into an
Yep,
argument.
yep.
And um, when I met my husband, we worked for the same company. We were in two different divisions. I worked inside doing the tech support for this alarm company. He worked in the fulfillment department, so he was putting the orders together and shipped out. And when I got fired from that job, I just kind of, we were still dating, so it wasn't like a, well, damn, all the responsibility was left on him. But as a man and the person that I love, he took it upon himself to make sure that I was okay. If I needed help paying a bill, he would go ahead and take the money out of his pocket and give it to me, even though like I never asked him to help me pay a bill, because I'm the type of person, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna pay my bills. I'm not gonna go and ask anyone, hey, I need help paying, for like my phone bill, or help paying for my car note or my insurance or anything like that. I don't, that was never me. I was never that person that liked getting handout, because then I felt less than a person, when that does happen. So like I fought with him, like, no, you're not paying for anything. I'll pay it myself. And as years went on, there was that big career shift in our lives. It was more than a big career shift. Like I left my job. I got a temporary job working in the mall. I got pregnant, and we were going to move to a whole different state. We planned on leaving, starting a whole new life in a whole different state. We went to different states to see which state fit us better. And that state happened to be Atlanta. We decided that we were going to do it. We were going to move. We already put a deposit down on the house, and that was it. That was our life. And I get pregnant in the midst of it. And in the midst of me getting pregnant,
You know how it works. While you're planning, God's already got His plan in motion.
exactly.
Yeah,
So in the midst of me pregnant, I we have this plan. We're like, okay, boom, you're just going to transfer over there. So you still have an income, once
yeah,
we get there. And then, I'll transfer my job here over there. So, it's like nothing really changes. There's no change. There's no stop of money flow or anything like that. That goes down the drain. That doesn't even work out, because I don't even end up leaving. I end up staying while he ends up moving to Atlanta. And now I'm pregnant in one state and he's in another state. And if you can imagine not having your significant other at doctor's appointment, if you can imagine, you know, being pregnant and just not having your significant other with you
mm,
during the pregnancy. And it was, even though it was a very short time apart, it was still a huge, huge like thing. Like the day he left, like I was done. I was finished. Like I felt like my world came crashing down, because the goal was, once I gave birth, I was going to move over there, and that
yeah,
didn't really happen. And I felt like my world came crashing down the day that he had to leave. And I was crying nonstop, like to the point that, like, you know, my cousin Gaitan, she told me, if you don't stop crying, the baby knows that you're upset. The baby sensed when you
shout out to Tan.
right. Shout out to Gaitan. And yeah, she would tell me, like, you need to just like calm down. The baby sense when you're stressed. You don't want anything to happen while you're pregnant, because you're stressed out over this. And I would think that's one of the biggest thing, was being pregnant. You're away from your significant other. You're going to all these doctor's appointments. Your belly's growing, the baby's moving, and he can't even be there to feel an ounce of movement. He can't be at the doctor's appointment, so you FaceTime and call them to be at the doctor's appointment, so they can be part of the experience. And I would have to say that was like one of the hardest part of our lives. One of the hardest part of our lives was being away from each other during my pregnancy,
Yeah.
even being still early in my pregnancy. And trying to hustle. He's hustling out there. The one thing about my husband, he gonna find a way to make money no matter what. And that's what I love about him. Like he gonna find a way. If he got work 2, 3 jobs, just so we have some sort of normalcy in our life, then he's gonna do that. And that's why I love my husband, because he's kind of just like me. He's not gonna take me hands out. He's gonna find a way to make it. So like I completely understand that shift.
Yo, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yo, and all that you just described, there's no instruction manual for that.
Oh no.
There's no
Oh, you
book.
doing this by yourself.
The book, you know, you pick up a book and try to read about something like that. You try to figure out how to get out of this situation, or how to approach this situation. It's gonna be as general as it gets, and you just need to apply what you learn, and
Yeah.
put it in there, and make it work for the person that that you're with. There's no instruction manual for that.
None. None.
So yeah.
You really gotta, the instruction manual is within yourself. That's where it really is, because you just have to try how to figure out stuff in your life, because no one's gonna tell you how it's done. No one tells you like, okay, once you have a baby, here you go, figure it out, or once you find that person, now you're trying to figure out like how to keep your relationship together. That's like another big thing is, once you get in a relationship, now you're learning each other, and now you are going to fight to keep it together and make sure that like you don't, I guess, don't lose it. You don't lose this person. And I feel like that's like a number one thing also. It's just like, how are you in a relationship? Like, what type of person are you in a relationship? Like,
Yeah, and kind of speaking to the kind of person that you are, I kind of want to flip back a little bit to something that you said that was kind of key too. You said that you're the type of person that holds stuff in. That's really important, because I make it a point to ask Tanya. Like, I'll just be walking by her in the kitchen, and I'm just like, "Yo, you good?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah." And I'm just like, "No, are you good? Are you good?" She's like, "Oh, And then all of a sudden, like, everything starts coming out, and I'm just like, "So if I didn't ask you, I was like, I'm like, I had to give you the double. Are you good? Just yeah, just just sit down, just talk just talk. Ask that other person, whether you think that they might be going through a lot of stuff or not, just ask. Sometimes you got
yeah,
something to just ask. You ever be like outside you ever be out on the street, and you like for me, I don't know what it is. If I put on my face the face where I don't want to talk to nobody, maybe it looks disturbed, and that's when people really want to talk to me. And I'm just like, yo, didn't I just have my I don't want to talk face on? How did I end up in this long conversation with this person right now? But but within that conversation, somebody needed to talk.
yeah, yeah. And you know what? The thing is, like with me, and I feel like my husband knows what I'm, like, he knows. Like, I have this like personality. Even if I don't even have that look, like I really don't want to talk to you. People gonna talk to you, but the thing is, people open up to me. People tell me everything, and I'm just like, I didn't ask for all that. But it's just like that's just like I guess the type of person that I am. Especially when I worked retail, people would tell me they're live, and I'm just like, okay. Like I had this one person, she told me that she don't even know she's pregnant yet, and she don't even know how to tell the dad. And I was just like,
Wow.
oh,
Thank you for this info.
okay. I was just like, and it was so random because all I was doing was just like I was like just being nice and just like helping her like try on clothes, and she just like, yeah, found out that I'm pregnant and I don't even know what to tell him. And I'm just like, maybe, I mean, I guess I was trying to help her, like giving her ideas like how to tell this man that she's pregnant. And she's like, yeah, I'm like 35 and I'm pregnant. And I was just like,
Oh, man.
okay.
Some people need an outlet to let to let information out. some people just be vomiting information. They they just
That's
don't.
what it is. Like, it's just like I don't know what it is. People are just like they gravitate to just like come to me and talk to me and tell me about like whatever is going on, and I'm just like, I don't even know you, sir, ma'am. I'm just here to like help you find clothes and cash out and hope you like your items that like you picked out. But like I didn't know I turned into a therapist once like I met you. Like I was your
So
friend. I was your
we'll
confidant.
be we'll be speaking of therapists. We'll be talking about one of the topics too. I don't have it on yet, but we're gonna be talking about mental health
Oh
and
yes.
what
Yeah.
what so you know what? Somebody asked me a question at the gym the other day. You know, we're running out of time, but I'm gonna just on my part, I'm gonna just end on this note.
Mm.
So somebody walked up to me the other day. He asked me, and he's like, "Hey Brady," I'm in the middle of my set, take my headphones on. He's like, "Hey Brady," um, he's like, "Yo man, me and my," he's like, "How long you been married?" I was like, 12 years. He's like, "Who?" That's what he said. He said, "Who?" And he's older than me. And then he goes, he's like, "What?" He's like, yo, my girl. He's like, "Yo, my girl's always arguing with me. She's always arguing with me. She's always trying to get at me. Like, what do you have to say to that?" And I was like, yo, it's easy. I was like, you just need. I was like, he's. I said, I said to him was, I very much value peace of mind. That's all I said. I said, I very much. I was like, I need peace of mind. And he just looked at me. He was like, oh. He's like, all right, okay, all right, yo, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I don't know what he did with it.
Beautiful.
I don't know what he did with that.
And
But
I bet you he gonna come back to you like, thank you for saving my
I,
life.
yeah, nah, I think it's important. Well, this is almost going into a whole nother topic here. But I think it's very important for people to just have that peace of mind. When you see somebody moving around, or as Pat likes to say, sliding around in the street, you can tell that they have they have peace of mind. They might not be making the most money in the world.
Yeah.
All the greatest things might not be happening to them and stuff. But, you can tell when they have peace of mind. They're just, well, just or I just so unbothered by anything or anybody. Um, you may come off as insensitive sometimes, but
Hmm.
no, I have, you got goals. You got goals, or whether it's your goals or you're just trying to get something done throughout the day. I just enjoy my peace of mind. That's it. So what I would have, if he needed more information from me on that, I would have told him to talk to his girl and be like, yo, we're in this together. We're in this together. There's no reason for us to be fighting every day. What is the you know what is if whatever that issue was that whatever the issues are, there's more to it. So just let it out. Just talk to me about it so we can get this done on the table right now and just keep it moving forward. For the future,
Yeah.
if they wanted to move forward.
Yeah. And to sprinkle on that, you need to have great communication with you and
Absolutely.
your significant other because without communication, then there's no relationship and you guys are just y'all just buddies just hanging out with each other and you're not even in a real relationship if you can't really have like a conversation with your significant other about whatever is going on because stuff like that can break up a marriage, can break up a relationship, break up anything, even a friendship, if you don't learn how to communicate how you're feeling, what's going on,
Mm.
what's your mental status like. And like Brady said, we're going to have those topics. We're going to talk about like mental health, especially in the Black community. Like mental health in the Black community seems like it's non-relevant. Like it's now just becoming more relevant, but
Yeah.
telling people that I am a Black man or I'm a Black woman and my mental health status is real low, and people would tell you go pray to God, and this is like, okay, I understand, but I need to talk about it. And people feel like it's a sin and it's a disease, and you look down on someone that is not having the greatest mental health status. So we're going to talk about all that in our podcast, and I hope that you guys enjoyed our very light but serious and heavy topic that we had today. I know it was all over the place, and I promise next week it will be less all over the place, but at least you guys get to know us a little bit more in our stories and
It's not
what
all
we've
over the
been.
place, man. These are all topics under the umbrella that that formulate a relationship. So
This is true,
I
and
think
this is
we can,
why.
yeah, I think we can circle around it, hit it right on the head, and then circle back around on it again.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah.
Well, and this is why it's relevant discussions, because everything that we talk about is extremely relevant to our lives and to our relationships and life goals, financial goals,
Absolutely.
everything. It's extremely relevant. So
With that being said, our
happy
time's
New
up. Thank you, everybody. From your host Brady Pierre and Taneille Pierre. Good night. Thank you.
Year, guys.